Good evening. We begin with breaking news at SUNY Oswego late this afternoon. The campus was put on alert. Police say a suspect in an assault in Seneca Hall, which is on West Campus. You can see that just off the shore of Lake Ontario. This man is wanted for an assault, and they say he's at large and may be armed. The alert was sent out just after 4 o'clock. This is a picture of the unnamed suspect. The alert advises students to not approach the man, be vigilant. The college used the New York alert system. In fact, late information into us tonight from the SUNY Oswego police. They say this is not an active shooter situation. It's isolated to a single dorm room between two parties. The suspect is believed to have left campus, although SUNY Oswego police have alerted people who are on campus, students in particular, to stay in their rooms as a precaution. Anyone with information is asked to contact the SUNY Oswego police. That number you can see is 312-5555. Another way to find out the latest information, SUNY Oswego is active on Facebook right now. They've posted the details, that number for SUNY Oswego campus police, if you have information. Again, the picture of the man who is wanted, and several people who are part of the SUNY Oswego greater community, maybe not on campus right now, have posted questions and are asking what's going on here. We want to know because we have, say, a student who's finishing finals this week, or perhaps somebody works on the campus. They're looking for more information. So again, the Facebook page for SUNY Oswego, another place for the latest information. We'll keep updating this story for you throughout the afternoon. Well, the unseasonably warm weather from November has now carried well into December. We still have not seen any snow yet, and we're now almost 2 weeks into the month. Today, we hit a high temperature in the 50s with more sunny weather, and it looks like it could get even warmer later this week and next. The lack of snow has been a relief for many drivers since they have yet to deal with icy roads, but it's also given some relief to the city's budget, since no money has been used for salt and snow plows, and not just in Syracuse, but throughout central New York. Tonight we have team coverage of the stint of warmer weather, though, that's coming up through this week. Molly Mattal will break down the forecast in just a moment, but first, Alex Russillo, live at the Syracuse Department of Public Works. He is standing in a spot that's usually reserved for winter storms in the middle of the salt pile. Alex.
Well, Matt, this handful of salt here at Syracuse DPW headquarters is only a very small amount of this 8 tons, as Wendell Williams is giving you a live look right now, 8 tons that is stored here at headquarters. All of this salt is left over from last winter. In a normal season, DPW goes through 40,000 tons of salt every season, constantly needing to buy and restock. But so far this winter, they haven't spent a dime on new salt. That's because the weather, it's been so nice out. The sky is blue, the grass is green, and it's about to be the beginning of winter. Road conditions are perfect when normally by now they've been coated by snow and ice.
Driving in the snow is really stressful. I've gone off the road twice with snow, once with ice on a driveway and once with slush on the side of the road because of snow. So when there's no snow, I'm a happy driver. Syracuse
DPW is saving big so far this winter. Their winter budget is $4 million a year. It's used for salt and to pay workers. And about $400,000 is allotted for just overtime alone, to keep workers on for 12-hour shifts. So far, none of it has been spent.
Just like any other city in the Northeast, probably any other city in the country, we're on a shoestring budget. So anything that we can save is great and definitely welcome.
Usually the DPW would have tapped into their overtime and salt budget by the second week of December. Commissioner Pete O'Connor doesn't know if the city has ever gone this late into the year without buying salt or spending on overtime.
I can't really remember it, and I've lived here all my life. I can't really remember this.
Any money saved during this unseasonable season would go into the city's general budget. While they want a white Christmas, many people are glad to see tax dollar savings at the DPW.
Not having to use that right now, it's great because it does save us money.
Matt, of the 35 snowplows the city has, 9 of them have yet to be turned over and converted into plows, with the plows being put on because the city still needs to do a lot of the work they normally do in the fall, such as removal of leaves and debris. For now, we're live here at DPW headquarters. I'm Alex Russillo Back to you.
No shortage of work. Thank you, Alex. Doesn't matter what the weather is. Molly Matat's in now to let us know how the rest of tonight's going to shape out. And this time last night, Molly, we're talking about that transition from really chilly weather to much milder air.
Yeah, that's right. We started to tap into that mild air that we've been advertising for the past week or so. We knew that we would be above average for this weekend into the weekend. The question now becomes just how much. Well, it's a bottom line guarantee that everybody will be above our average of around 40 degrees for a high. But as we start to get closer to the weekend, these temperatures in the 60s will be localized in some places across central New York. Will be a lot cooler. It's a big temperature swing over the weekend, but look at where these temperatures are climbing into the upper 50s to low 60s, close to 20 degrees above where we should be for this time of year. As of right now, it's 48 degrees in Syracuse, down from our high in the low 50s today, and it is a little chilly out there. But why our temperatures are so much higher is because our winds across the board are coming from the south, and you can see they're gusting, or they're sustained at around 13 miles per hour in Syracuse. So it's a little bit breezy out there right now, but it's a warm wind that's starting to bring in that nice mild air. Triple Doppler, brought to you by Cayuga Community College, is nice and dry. Won't stay that way for long. We're tracking our next minor storm system that will give us some showers overnight, and then our rain chances start to increase as we head towards the weekend. I'll have more on that coming up in just a few, but we'll leave you with a look outside right now at Stanley Law Skywatch as you're heading home. A warm weekend, and how does that all change in the 7-day forecast? More coming up. Matt?
Thank you, Molly. New information tonight in the San Bernardino mass shooting. Investigators now say the couple responsible for the killing spree in San Bernardino were radicalized long before the attack that happened 1 week ago today, even before the two of them met. This comes as they continue to look at who else may have been involved and how the terror plot may have been funded. Jay Gray has been following the story and joins us live with the latest tonight.
A week after the deadly attack, family members of victims and survivors gathered together today at the Inland Regional Center as investigators continued their work inside. Law enforcement sources tell NBC News their indication Syed Farouk was discussing an attack on a California target.
We have several down in the conference room.
3 years before agents say he and his wife, Tashfeen Malik, killed 14 and wounded 21 inside the Inland Regional Center. That timeline indicating they were radicalized before they even met.
As early as the end of 2013, they were talking to each other about jihad and martyrdom before they became engaged and then married and lived together in the United States.
Investigators continue to pour through documents and other evidence found inside their home and now say the couple had been practicing at shooting ranges and likely plotting their attack for more than a year.
We're also working very hard to understand whether there was anybody else involved with assisting them, with supporting them, with equipping them.
That part of the investigation now focused on a number of people witnesses saw entering Farouk's garage in the months just prior to the attack. Jay Gray, NBC News, San Bernardino.
As the after effects of the most recent terror attacks continue to reverberate, we're taking a closer look at what the government is doing to keep us safe and what needs to still be done to defend our country. In our special town hall roundtable, The New Normal, Security versus Freedom, a panel of experts will weigh in on whether the next election should be decided on homeland security issues. You can see that tonight at 7 on Channel 3.3. Well, developing news tonight, the case against a New Hartford father accused of beating his two sons at the New Hartford church is on hold temporarily while he gets a new attorney. Bruce Leonard's previous attorney stepped down following a death in his family. He appeared briefly at a pretrial hearing today in Oneida County Court, but a judge adjourned the session until a replacement attorney is found. Leonard is facing murder charges along with a slew of other charges in the Word of Life church beatings. 2 days ago, 7 of the co-defendants in the case were offered plea agreements. The October group attack at the Word of Life Church killed 19-year-old Lucas Leonard, severely injured his 17-year-old brother Christopher. Police say they were beaten for hours after a counseling session turned violent. The teens were talking about leaving the Word of Life Church. Well, a man sentenced to 25 years to life at the Auburn Correctional Facility was found dead at the prison this week. The Department of Corrections says Michael Rodriguez was found dead in his prison cell. Rodriguez was charged with second-degree murder for killing his wife in the 1970s. He wasn't convicted until just last year. A Cicero man is under arrest for assaulting a man with a baseball bat. Police say John Yeager hit the man on the head, causing a fractured skull and other injuries. He was arraigned in Cicero court earlier today and held on no bail due to prior felony convictions. Yeager faces charges of assault and criminal possession of a weapon. A second threat at a high school in central New York within 1 week. Students and staff were evacuated from Cicero North Syracuse High this morning after a bomb threat note was found in a bathroom. Police searched the building. No bombs were found. This comes after a student at Liverpool High School was arrested for threatening a shooting at his school last week. We have an alert for you tonight out of the town of Salina. The Onondaga County Sheriff's Office says they are searching for a 14-year-old girl who went missing under what they described as unknown circumstances last night. Deputies say Kathleen Osorio was last seen at her house on Old Liverpool Road around 8:30 last night. Anyone with information is asked to contact the Onondaga County Sheriff's Office. Auburn police are searching for another teen who ran away from home on Van Anden Street in Auburn. Police say Dijon Starling Harvey went missing about a month ago and police believe he's still in the Auburn area somewhere. Anyone with information is asked to contact the Auburn police. Well, tonight is the last school board meeting for the Syracuse City School District before the newly elected board takes over after the new year. We're waiting to see if the board will talk about a contract extension for Superintendent Sharon Contreras.
Is that going to help the kids? That look like me? The kids?
Remember, it was just a few days ago that the group Be the Change organized the rally after 95% of teachers voted they have no confidence in Contreras at a school board meeting last year. Supporters want the newly elected board, not the current board, to decide on renewing Superintendent Contreras' contract, which ends this June.
I can understand that as a board member who will be leaving at the end of the month. I can understand people's expectations that they had an election, that there were new board members that are elected, and they want to hear their voice rather than the voices of 3 board members who are leaving.
Superintendent Contreras became the superintendent in the summer of 2011. In 2012, her 3-year contract was extended through June of this coming year. The Open Government website See Through New York lists her salary at $249,000 a year. Still ahead on NBC3 News at 5. An alert if you're looking to buy tickets for Springsteen's tour this winter. How resale sites are selling tickets that have yet to be released and what you should be watching out for. And the newest project from Cornell University, these puppies, the firstborn from in vitro fertilization. How their research is helping prevent hereditary diseases among certain breeds. Then tonight at 6, a touching story about how a neglected dog in Thailand made it all the way to the United States and to Cornell's Veterinary College. Yes, she's got new wheels. We'll tell you how it all came about for her to find a new home in central New York. You're watching NBC3 News at 5. Well, before we get to Molly and the weather, we want to take a look downtown Syracuse, live at Clinton Square. Look what's still working. Yes, the Clinton Square ice rink, it's been open for business now since right around the day after Thanksgiving when they did the tree lighting. Took a while to even get it into place considering the mild weather we've enjoyed throughout the later part of fall. Tonight, what a great night to be out there. Temperatures are still so comfortable. Look at it. That guy might be working there. Oh, a little boy just slipped and fell in the background. I didn't mean to point that out. I was going to point out the fact that the guy was ice skating wearing short sleeves with the Christmas tree in the background, all the lovely decorations. But watch the young man trying to hobble his way through. Look at him. Look at him. He's working his way through. Oh. Okay, we'll let him go. We'll let him leave that picture while still standing.
You added
I got to give him credit,
injury,
Molly.
Matt.
He's out there. He's out there trying it.
Poor kid.
Yeah, he's doing good.
I got a kick out of the guy in the short sleeves. I got a tweet today that someone was walking around in shorts and a t-shirt. I mean, it was warm, but it wasn't that warm. We topped out in the mid-50s, and our temperatures right now are actually falling back into the 40s quickly. And when we add in this breeze, it's a little chilly out here. We'll take a look right now with Stanley Lost Skywatch, brought to you by Adirondack Furniture. We are starting to cool off, and it is a little bit chilly in the 40s. But we tapped into some seriously mild air. Our average high for this time of year is right around 39 degrees, so in the upper 30s to low 40s. And we ended out the day around the 52-degree mark. We'll still have to wait another hour or two for the official report to come in to see if we squoze out an extra degree here or there. But Syracuse is down to 48. Rochester still holding on to 49. Overall, a mild night ahead. Not a huge cool off as we head into the overnight. And that's mainly because of these breezy conditions that are across central New York right now. Sustained winds at 13 miles per hour in Syracuse, but you notice the directions are coming from the south-southeast, and that's going to keep our air well mixed, which means it won't cool down as much. And it's also going to allow us to continue to tap into a more mild flow of air. Triple Doppler, brought to you by Cayuga Community College, is nice and dry right now, but you see a line of showers is starting to press in from the west. Nothing really too big to speak of here, but they are starting to fill in, so we may be waking up to some wet roads tomorrow, maybe with that added moisture, some patchy low clouds as well. But because of the arrival of that more mild air, our temperatures for the next 12 hours are pretty level. We may dip to a low at 43 at around 8 or 9 o'clock. Then we actually start to level off and maybe even rise towards the early morning, and you'll be waking up to temperatures in the mid-40s, which is a huge departure from the mid-20s where we should be waking up for this time of year. We'll time out those showers for you on the Futurecast. They start to fill in around midnight, and it is a slow-moving front, so they start to linger on just a little bit. Maybe a chance of a shower or sprinkle very early on in the day tomorrow. Then drier air starts to make its way in. Again, because of that added moisture, we're in another round of some stubborn low-level clouds, especially to places to the north and east of Syracuse, but the sunshine will eventually start to make its way out again. Overall, tomorrow we're expecting highs not in the low 50s, but in the mid 50s across the area. So it's going to be another mild day, and we just continue the warm up from there. Again, an isolated shower possible Saturday and Sunday. Better chance looks to be late Saturday and into the day on Sunday. I should mention these temperatures, 57 and 61 for Saturday and Sunday. Across the board for the weekend, a big temperature swing, so only a few places will get this warm, and that includes Monday as well. Then a system comes through and brings chilly air back into the 40s for Tuesday and Wednesday.
An alert for you tonight. New York's Attorney General is looking into whether tickets that do not exist as of yet for Bruce Springsteen's 2016 winter tour should be listed on ticket resale sites. Tickets for the Boss's tour don't go on sale till Friday, yet already hundreds of seats have been listed for up to $5,000 apiece on resale sites like StubHub, Ticket Network, and Vivid Seats. Attorney General Eric Schneiderman says that these speculative ticket listings are deceptive advertising, and he wants the resale sites to take action. Now at 5, Sarah Beth Ackerman has more on how you can avoid falling for these fake ticket sales.
Calling all concert goers, you might want to listen up. So-called speculative tickets, or tickets that don't exist yet for the Bruce Springsteen show, are circulating all over the web. And the New York State Attorney General's office wants you to know about it.
Consumers see $5,000 tickets for sale that haven't even been released publicly yet. I hope they're born to run as far away from these predatory sellers as possible.
So what can we do to protect ourselves against these scheming sellers? The upstate New York BBB, along with the Attorney General's office, says doing your research is key. It's always best to buy directly from the venue or event. If you choose a secondhand ticket seller, knowing the difference between a legitimate seller and an unlicensed seller is important. Only buy tickets from a site that you know and trust. And don't be afraid to ask questions about the section, row, and seat number to confirm exactly what you're getting into.
Another thing to keep in mind when buying online, never send your cash and always use your credit card. That way, if the tickets turn out to be fake, you're more likely to get your money back.
You'll also want to be wary of advertisements for cheap tickets or emails that ask you to click on a link to purchase tickets. In some cases, these websites are not legitimate sellers. For now, reporting in Syracuse, I'm Sarah Beth Ackerman.
We did reach out to the 3 resale companies. StubHub got back to us saying this: we stand behind every ticket that is sold on our site, promising our customers that they will get their tickets in time for the event. The tickets will be valid for entry, and the tickets will be the same as those that were ordered. If any of these things do not occur, we'll find comparable or better tickets to the event or provide a refund. Coming up, the first puppies born via in vitro fertilization, how Cornell University researchers are using the project to help stop hereditary diseases in breeds from being passed on. You're watching NBC3 News at 5. We begin with breaking news at SUNY Oswego tonight. The campus is on alert. Police say a suspect in an assault in Seneca Hall is at large, maybe armed. The alert was sent out just after 4 o'clock tonight. Now, since that time, SUNY Oswego police have said they believe the suspect has gotten off campus. They have not released a name. Now, earlier, the campus police had told us that students were being advised to stay in their rooms. SUNY Oswego Public Relations has since gotten in touch with us and said, no, there's not a lockdown, no shelter in place. They're not being advised to stay in their rooms. They're just being advised to be alert about this. And they're being asked to call SUNY Oswego Police at 312-5555 with any problems. SUNY Oswego's Facebook page is a good place to get information. People have been asking questions there. And also, I want to just quickly show you the map of the campus. The building right here in the middle, Seneca Hall, is a 10-story dormitory building on the West Campus area. That's where they believe this assault took place. And as we zoom out, once again, you can see, if you're not familiar with the Oswego area, the SUNY Oswego campus in general is a couple of miles west of the center of downtown Oswego. So those are the latest pieces of information. We'll continue to follow this breaking news throughout the next hour. Well, as we continue now at 5, here's your health checkup tonight. Some very special babies were born recently at Cornell University that have the potential to help prevent diseases, too. Erica Edwards explains.
Behold the world's first litter of puppies born through in vitro fertilization. Cornell University's Dr. Alexander Travis beams like a proud father when recalling the day the 7 pups were born 5 months ago.
Very nerve-wracking until you heard those first cries and saw them wriggling around, and then it was really great.
It was a moment scientists had been trying to get to for 40 years. That's because, without getting too heavy into the science behind the birds and bees of dogs, reproduction is much more complicated in canines than it is in other mammals.
Yes, I like you too.
So why do we care about the world's first litter of IVF puppies? Besides the fact that they're just so cute, the technology opens the door to ways of preventing hereditary diseases like cancer in certain breeds.
In vitro fertilization itself can't help prevent disease, but what it does is it gives us a way to generate embryos, and then we can use new technologies to hopefully go in and fix certain genes that cause those diseases.
Instead of treating genetic diseases in dogs, these doctors someday may be able to prevent them. But first, the basics.
Sit. Sit.
Erica Edwards, NBC News.
Yeah, they got to work on that. The IVF technology developed at Cornell also has implications for endangered species. Scientists can freeze and store semen and eggs of rare canine breeds and then reintroduce that genetic material into the gene pool. Still ahead, new at 6 tonight. It's a new life for a dog found on the streets of Thailand. We're going to take you back to Cornell and their veterinary college for some animals that are getting some help. The vets there really had a unique case here. This pup is now complete with new wheels and on the road to recovery. That's ahead at 6.